All right, we're back. Graveyard Shift Movie Podcast, episode number 27. Happy New Year. I realized before we did this that this episode would come back after the New Year. So, hey, 2021. Is the disease gone yet?
No more COVID.
Yeah,
COVID is
we
cured.
did it, boys.
Our political standstill is fixed too.
Yeah,
Everything is better.
world
The water
peace.
fountains are spitting soda, boys.
Flint, they're good now.
No one cares about Flint anymore.
And yeah, Flint sort of got pushed in the background.
They're like, our water's still chunky. They're like, shut up.
Yeah,
$600.
yeah.
Uh,
So anyway, hey, this week it was Tyler's pick, and he picked Hunter x Hunter from 2020. It literally came out like 2 weeks ago, brand spanking new.
Hardest movie to look up because everything brings up the popular anime Hunter x Hunter.
I could find it pretty easy on Prime or whatever, but then when I tried to look up like budget and stuff, every time I looked at it, it was just trying to give me Hunter x Hunter, and I was like, no, I, I don't want this.
This doesn't reflect my score in any way.
Uh-huh.
Worst fucking title for a movie I've ever seen.
Pretty bad title. It was.
It is horrible.
Yeah.
Like,
Um,
yikes.
the title was bad, and the title card is bad.
I didn't mind the title card. It was very
It was Hunter, and then like Hunter upside down and backwards or something like under it, and I was like, ah. Anyway, this movie's. I don't know what to score it. Like for a while, I was really into it, and then it sort of lost me. I don't know.
I go first if you want.
Yeah, go first.
I'm giving this movie a 3.
A 3. I was thinking a 4.
I've never seen this movie. I picked it blind, but
Blind pick.
it made a lot of. The trailer made it look so good, and then a 3 is what it got.
So, yeah, I don't know if the trailer really lived up to it, but
Vice versa.
yeah. All right, well, hey, spoiler warning for Hunter x Hunter. Gonna ruin everything about us. Go watch it first.
Oh well, Mav and Joe were doing Christmas stuff, so they didn't be
Yeah,
here.
they're actually
Or they-
living in a cabin out in the woods now. They've changed their lives.
They call it a. Oh god, I just blanked on the name. A chateau or something. But, it's
Yeah,
just a
something
cabin.
like that.
It's not even a cabin. It's a tent with a wheel on it, so they just roll it around.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Be warned. Spoilers are coming. First thing I'm gonna start off with, this movie fucking jebaited me, and the whole trailer and everything is like Devon Sawa, Hunter x Hunter.
Mhm.
He's in like 15 minutes of the movie, and then he's gone. And I was like, it took about, cause you see him talk, and he talks with her on the radio, and then that's it. And then it took about another 15 minutes for me to realize, oh, this is gonna be the rest of the movie. Like Devon Sawa isn't coming back. And then I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, it shocked me.
He was first thing. Everyone in this movie, I thought, did a pretty good job acting, except for the forest guards.
Forrest, me and you were on the same page here. I thought they were the worst, the worst thing.
Like the guy was just it didn't make sense, and that lady.
The lady who was like the comic relief, kinda, I guess. Every time she was on
Right.
screen, she was making a joke.
Let's be nice. And the
I'm always
lady
nice.
was very robust,
Yeah.
and she's walking through the woods at one point in this movie, and I was like, this doesn't look right at all. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. This lady was like, anyways, it doesn't. These people are supposed to go out in the woods and look for animals and poachers and stuff,
Yeah.
and neither one of them looked like the type of people that would, walk off the road.
Yeah, neither one of them looked like the type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Um,
was like, what?
and like, yeah, Devon Sawa. First off, I was like, it's weird seeing him like this when the two movies I know him from basically are Idle Hands and Final Destination, where he's still
My
like
boy is looking rough.
he's like, I didn't look up how old he was, but he was like a full-fledged man in this movie. And I was-
Like, yeah, like gravelly looking. Like
Yeah.
he looks like he's done some time.
There's a shot of him where he's like skinning the deer or whatever, and he's just smoking a cigarette, and he's like silhouetted. And I was like, man, this guy is a full-fledged man. I was
Yeah,
like, yeah, and
he
like
looked
I
like a
was,
slim Cable,
yeah,
like not Josh Brolin, but
yeah,
like Cable from the comics.
like
Yeah,
he didn't even sound like Devon Sawa anymore. Well, especially what I remember, but yeah, he was killing it. And then,
all right, here's a question for
okay.
you. What time period did this movie take place in?
I don't know. I think it was supposed to be just modern, but it was in
No.
like
Because that lady had a flip phone when she was calling because of the bear.
yeah,
But it was like the really old school one.
yeah.
And everyone had really old cars. I want to say like late 80s, early 90s. Like, remember
I
that guy's
just
cassette player? It
yeah.
was huge.
I just took it as in because they're like supposed to be backwoods, like you know, just they don't need all that stuff. But
I mean, they had a satellite
maybe,
phone and it was in a briefcase.
yeah.
So,
Listen, that's a
I think
survival phone.
this movie is, I'm not going to get into what it is, like the actual movie, whatever. But I think, I'm not 100% on this, but I think this movie tried to make like 3 like existential points. And it missed on all 3 of them. But I think it was trying to be like this deep, dark movie. And everything just went nowhere. And it was horrible.
Yeah, like at first I got like God, what was the movie? Because as it started, it reminded me of the movie a lot, but I can't remember it. But yeah, it seemed like one of the movies that was going to be like it reminded me the first like 20 minutes. It reminded me of The Witch a lot for some reason. I think and like I was like, oh, this is going to be where slowly just everything starts going bad and all that stuff. But then
First
it just yeah.
Well, you keep going. Finish your thought, and then I'll chime in.
Okay, I'm gonna finish my thought. I was gonna say, but then it didn't happen that way. That was it. That was all I had left. Yeah.
So this movie's like called a gruesome horror film.
Gruesome. Everything you sent me about it was like the so bloody and violent.
Yeah, this is not a horror film, like at all.
This was the least horror movie I think we've ever watched.
And we've watched a lot of bad movies, but this was nothing. This was like suspense at best.
Yeah, if you could even call it that.
We watched, what's that movie? First one we ever watched with the really bad special effects.
Society.
We watched Society. We watched Night of the Living Dead or whatever.
Whoa.
Return of the Living
Don't
Dead.
love that movie.
We watched some really horrible, cheesy horror films, right?
Uh-huh.
This one takes the cake with the worst CGI wolf I have ever seen.
It was a
in my
pretty
life.
bad CGI wolf.
It might as well have been the guy in the green suit.
Which I swear they used 2 different shots because at one point it's a real wolf, and then whenever it's supposed to be the wolf in them, it's like they didn't have time to go find like a trained wolf or whatever. So they just have like terrible CGI. Which, to be fair, this is an IFC midnight movie, so it's a TV movie. But even though I swear I saw a boob at one point, and I don't know if IFC is about that, but
You saw like half a nipple.
yeah. Which that would also explain why every 10 minutes it goes to black and then it starts again, because those are the commercial breaks on TV.
Well, and it's, I don't know, this is unrated.
Was unrated.
But I think the wolf was stolen from Game of Thrones. They just, because remember how big it was?
Yeah.
It was like the size of everybody.
Yeah.
But the guy shoots the wolf earlier, and you see it, and it looks just like a large dog.
Yeah.
And then the wolf comes.
I will say, like, there's the first 20 minutes of the movie when Devon Sawa was there, I liked it. And the shot of him when he's aiming at the wolf, and he's like just about to pull the trigger, and then the wolf turns, and you see it's got the hand in its mouth, and it was like, oh man. And then, yeah. But
boom, in the movie. Stop it there.
Yeah, that's he killed the
like
wolf,
a TV
and that's
show.
it.
Yeah. But there's okay, let's break down the characters real fast.
Let's go ahead.
So Devon Sawa, which his real name was John?
I think so.
John. I think
Yeah,
just called
just because she kept saying his name.
saying it over and over again. The dude's great. Has a great storyline. No ending to it though, and
No.
I'll get back to that. Right,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, we'll come back.
the teen daughter who looks like a boy but is a girl.
I thought it was a boy at first, and then she took all her hat off, and I was like, oh, it's a girl. Okay.
Well, that was a trick.
Yeah, yeah.
That was them using that so you knew not to judge things by their appearance.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the ending thing, which is just it's bullshit, right?
That-
You make a girl
yeah.
look like a guy, and then it's really a girl, and you're like, okay.
Yeah. Which also...
Never had.
Well, go ahead.
She never had any character arc or anything. You know nothing about that lady.
Nothing about her.
Same
There's
with
a
the mom.
part. There's a part where they're looking for the wolf, and fucking Devon Sawa was like, he finds like track, and he's like, all right, head on home. And then he like gives her the rundown though, and he's like, what do you do if you hear something? And she's like, I bunker down or whatever. And so you're like, okay, this kid, and she's previously,
she knows what she's doing.
yeah, and previously in the movie, she already talked about how, oh, you went hunting for wolves at 13 or 8, and I'm 13, and he's like, yeah, but I got meaner faster than you or whatever. So anyway, so you're like, oh, this girl knows what she's doing. First, there is a shot of her walking down the path where it's like, oh, she's still a kid because she's doing like the pew pew with the gun or whatever.
What the fuck was that?
And then the second she hears like a snap of a twig, she just takes off crying down the path, and you're like, that's the exact opposite of what he told you to do. Like, which and then the mom was running too at the same time. It was like cut in between, spilled all the water.
Yeah, all the water.
Yeah. So then we got the mom,
who again, you know nothing about other than the fact that she wants to.
She wants to move. Not to the city, but to, like, close enough where there's a school there, and, which I'm assuming, they never really say how the dad and them meet, but it makes it sound she was living in, like, the town, and then Devon Sawa came in for, go to a bar or something, maybe, and so then she chose this life out in the woods when she chose to marry him. But that's about all you know about their relationship. Yeah, and then you have the two. I'm gonna assume they're game wardens.
Yeah.
But, which they don't.
Natural, whatever.
Which they literally have no. The only thing you know about the one guy is he's got a wife.
And a stinky lunch.
But that's about it. Oh, and then there's a. Go ahead.
I was like, big girl eats soup from a mug that just looks like broth. With a spoon.
Yeah.
What the fuck that was all
Yeah.
about.
And then there's a guy we find later on in the woods who I don't even remember his name.
I don't think you know it.
Well, yeah, you don't know, yeah, but anyway, yeah. And so he's there, and I think he has all of like 10 lines maybe in the whole movie before shit kicks off. But so anyway, so I guess a little summary of the movie is Devon Sawa and his family living out in the woods. Out hunt one day, they find like a little raccoon fucking leg in the trap, and the daughter's like, oh, it's back. And so they've supposed previous experiences with this wolf, and so this wolf's out there, keeps killing all their food. Mom starts pressuring Devon Sawa to go to the game wardens, or we should move out of the woods and all this stuff. So he goes out, he's like, I'm gonna find this wolf, I'm gonna kill it. The first day he's out there, he comes across like a murder scene. Like,
well, he finds the wolf and shoots it.
He does find the wolf, yeah, and he shoots it, and then he's tracking the wolf.
The blood trail from the wolf leads to what can only be called a serial killer dump site.
Yeah, which it's like 5 ladies. Well,
there were more that were like skeletonized and stuff.
Yeah, there was. There was like a chair there, like the guy would sit there afterwards and just like look at him or whatever. Yeah, and he finds that, and he's like, oh, this isn't good. And so then the next day, he decides he's going to stay out until he finds the wolf, which basically is he's just sitting by the dead bodies waiting for the killer to come back. And that's about the last time you see him for another hour, 10 minutes maybe. And then it's whether the wife and the daughter and them are just trying to survive. Like, because the daughter's having to teach her how to skin, and stuff. They kill a baby deer at one point, and the mom's like, I didn't know it was a baby. And it's like, you knew it was a baby. But she kills that baby deer, and then later in the movie, she, like, picks up a rabbit that's caught in the trap and, like, breaks its neck, and she's, like, crying or whatever. And I was like, oh, the rabbit's where you crossed the line, not Bambi over here you slaughtered earlier. But
that rabbit made the most terrifying noise when it broke its neck. It was
like,
yeah.
But and then they're like they're fishing one day or getting water, either one, by the river. And this wolf shows up. It's the wolf, supposedly. And boy, there's a scene where the mom just, like, puts the daughter behind her back and just starts screaming at the wolf to usher it away or whatever.
I mean, screaming.
Screaming, yeah. Which this was a shot in the trailers, and in the trailer we were like, ooh, something bad's going on there. And, like, I guess that was something bad, but wasn't what I thought it would be from the trailer. Yeah. And so, then their dog gets killed by the wolf. It's the poor dog, which you only saw, like, once in that movie. And then later they're like, where's the dog at? And it's dead. Did you think we were having a Pet Cemetery moment for a minute? When the girl was like, I hear the dog out there whining. He did it? I was like, ooh, man, this is going to get crazy.
But she says that. It's obviously a guy screaming in pain.
There, you heard it, right?
Yeah. It was like, I hear Toto, or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
And she goes, quiet, let me listen. It's, help me. It's like, sounds just like him.
Yeah. It's like, I know what was it, Rover? What's his name in the movie? I don't remember.
It's Dorbo or something.
Yeah.
It's like some Inuit name or something.
But it's just some random dude. At first I thought it was Devon Sawa because it was real dark out. And then I was like, oh no, this is a different guy. And his leg's all messed up. So the mom brings him back and patches him up. And then he wakes up the next day and says he doesn't remember what happened. He just remembers he was attacked. And mom's like, oh, there's a wolf going around. That must be what it is. And then what happens after that, Tyler?
Trying to think exactly how. Okay, so the guy has hypothermia. She strips him down. He recovers, and she sews up his leg, and they try to slay him out.
They do, yeah. She's like, yeah, and he's like, no, it's too painful. Can't do it.
And the whole time he just starts screaming. He's like, quit it. Stop. So then they're sitting there, and I don't know what she's doing, because she goes out looking for something. It wasn't her husband. She went to bury the dog.
Yeah. Well, no, I thought she buried the dog before. I don't remember. Because then that was when she found, and I don't know. Also, the daughter keeps bringing up the dog, and she's like, I know the dog's going to come back. And it's like, did you not tell her that the dog got killed or nothing? But
I don't know why she didn't.
I don't know, but she must not have.
Like, this is a girl who watches animals get butchered and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, if anyone could understand the cycle of life and the fact that the wolf got the dog, supposedly.
Yeah. It should be her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I guess she just had too much on her plate.
Yeah. Also, in the middle of all that, something I forgot to mention is, so Devon hasn't been heard of for days now at this point. They find some wolf shit at one point, and there's a ring in it. And the mom gets freaked out because, then we're led to believe, oh, it's Devon Sawa's ring, and that Devon Sawa got eaten by this wolf. But you never really know what's been going on with him.
Well, they show you the ring, and the ring's like a bullshit girl's ring or whatever.
Yeah. But then, so the next I don't know how long after she finds that body. It's just another 20 minutes of her trying to get food. That's when she starts killing the deer and the rabbit and all that stuff. And then at some point she's losing it and she goes out and she like starts radioing Devon Sawa again. She's like, I need you to help me, you know, and everything. And it was pretty cool when she like gets done clicking and then you hear like beep, 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 behind her or whatever. Yeah, and I was like, ooh, it's right there.
Joe?
And so she keeps following the thing, and then lo and behold, Devon Sawa's dead.
So before that,
Uh-huh.
when you first heard the beep, did you get excited thinking Papa Bear's back in town?
No.
I did. I was like, oh, he's back.
No.
Like he's back. He was not.
No.
Like,
I didn't even
see
think.
that far. Like,
No, it was only, yeah. I didn't even think that she was going to find a body or him. I just thought it was going to be the radio, and then it would lead into something else. But no, it was him. And I'm assuming it was a gun wound that killed him to the head, because it shows like his head bleed, but it doesn't really.
yeah, it doesn't tell you. At the same time, I think the dude just hit him with a rock.
Yeah, yeah. Which then, as soon as she finds Devon Sawa, she starts being like, "Oh, it's this guy that I've had in the cabin with me this whole time that killed my husband or whatever." So she goes running back.
But how did she get to that conclusion?
I don't know. It was just, yeah, because it shows you like a flashback, but all it is him going, "I don't remember how I got here," and she's like, "That's it. He killed my husband."
Yeah,
But-
like it made no sense that jump.
Yeah. So she goes running back because then she left the daughter alone in there with him. By the way, there was a scene before it where my theory that I told Tyler before we watched this movie is in the trailer. There's a shot of the guy naked wearing a blanket, and it's a wolf movie. So I was like, oh, this is a werewolf movie. That guy's a wolf. And there's a scene where he's sleeping, and he's like, like that, and I was like, he's a wolf. He's turning into a wolf. But he was not a werewolf. There's no werewolfness in this movie. Yeah, and she goes running. Yet. Yeah, maybe under the surface. She goes running and she tries pecking on the girl's window from outside to get her to come, but the girl doesn't wake up. She goes like around the building and you see the guy's like open or awake, and he like knows she's out there or whatever. And then she comes in the house and gets attacked and choked out. And the guy, wakes her up and is like, "Hey, come on, I need your truck keys." Where does he want to go? He just wants to move his car or something?
Yeah, he has to go get his car.
Yeah, his car, by the way, which has been sitting on the side of the road, and every time this game warden gets called out to the same house where these people won't change their trash cans, so bears keep getting, collecting over there. He drives by him, and it's just chilling on the road, and every time he's like, "What the fuck?" So about the third time, he gets out and goes wandering into the woods, and he comes across the pile of dead bodies or whatever, and he's like, "What the fuck?" Leading in to, we can do our best of worst stuff right now as I'm telling this. The best part of this movie for me was him being like, "What's this?" Steps in the bear trap that a long time ago you see Devon Sawa set down or whatever. And he's like, "Ah!" And then he falls down straight into another bear trap. And so now he's got 2 bear traps. And he's just like, "Ah, God." And yeah, that was my favorite part of the movie. Worst part of the movie was Devon Sawa only being in it for 15 minutes and then being gone. You got a favorite and least favorite before we keep going since I brought it up? Well, your favorite might be the end of the movie, so.
We haven't gotten to my least favorite.
Okay.
My real least favorite, but I have a fake least favorite.
Okay.
Which he's at the store and they're trying to imply that they're broke and that their livelihood is running out.
Yeah.
And she's just sitting outside staring at the kids and the bus and stuff. I'm like, I don't need 10 minutes. I've already heard the guy say they don't have the money.
Yeah, we know.
Like that's all I need.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But it's like that in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So, but
Anyways.
my real least favorite part is you don't know what happens to the daughter, and then she's like, "You'll be with your daughter soon enough," and then apparently homegirl like checks in on her daughter, and just loses her fucking mind.
Yeah.
But you never know what happened to her.
But you can probably assume what happened to her.
I don't. I mean, I assumed Devon was coming back.
Yeah,
He's the main actor in the movie.
Yeah. But anyway, yes.
How old is that
Go ahead.
chick?
Which one?
I'm gonna look it up. While
Okay.
you, go on.
So anyway, that happened. I don't know. So that happened. So then she gets attacked. She gets choked out. She wakes up like Tyler says. Dude's like, "Hey, I need your Chuck keys. I gotta go move my car or whatever." But then he wants her to go with her, and the whole time she just keeps croaking out. She's like, "Sarah," or whatever the daughter's name was. And she wants to know where her daughter is, and the guy, he's like, "Oh, she's fine. I'll take her to her, but you gotta go first or whatever." So I don't remember what sets the mom off, but he tries to do. I think he starts getting rapey on her. Maybe he starts like taking her shirt off. She picks up this little rabbit trap. That the whole movie, Devon Sawa had been messing with it every time they're eating dinner, and she was messing with it. And it finally comes back when she uses it and rabbit traps this dude in the face. And so he's got this, and she's like, ah. And then she does something else to him, I think, but I can't remember. But then she ends up,
with a frying pan.
yeah, she ends up knocking him out. And then, like Tyler says, she goes and opens up the door to check on her daughter. And it's just a shot of, like, a low-down shot of her looking down. And she's just like, and starts freaking out. And then she, like, goes blank face. So I'm assuming the daughter ends up like the girls you see in the pile. And he, like, raped her and killed her or something. So then she goes over and picks up dude's cassette tape, which we learn he uses whenever he's committing his crimes, just to, like, block out the screams or whatever. She puts it on. It's some weird, like, hippie, progressive.
It's like it's like bohemian techno.
Yeah, it's something weird.
It's like chimes and bells, but like with progressive guitar.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it bugs me. Like if someone out there is like, "Oh, how dare you not know?"
Yeah, someone's gonna be like, "That's so and so," but
Yeah.
But anyway, so she's listening to that. So everything from this point on is just that music. You can't hear any sound. But she strings dude up and starts skinning him alive because she learned how to skin. Which, at first I was like, oh man, that's pretty, skinning off his pec muscle and stuff. But then she, like, takes the little slice out of his face and just grips the side of it and yanks it. And I was like, whoa, that was crazy. And then, also this whole time, the girl who works with the guy, the wife had called the guy who's in the bear traps now, the game warden. The wife had called, said he never came home. She comes out, finds him in the bear trap, goes and gets help, brings cops. So now the cops are running, and they see the fire, which the dude had made randomly a little bit ago. They're running towards the building as she's like skinning this dude alive. So they pop up. This is one of my biggest parts of the movie, or problems with the movie, is they open up the door. She's sitting there with the meat thing on. She's holding a man's face in her hands. And they just let her walk past. And I was like, what? I was like, shouldn't you take her down immediately? But, But then it leads in to, I guess, why everyone kept saying this movie was so grisly and violent. Is because there's just a straight upper torso shot of this dude, like, moving his eye around, with just his face is gone. And, he kind of looked like, the guy from Return of the Living Dead, the homie up here.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Because he had one exposed eye. And
Yeah.
looking all
But,
eye.
yeah, but, he's all skinned, and the cops don't know what's going on, and she goes over and sits on a step and takes off the headphones, and then that's the end of the movie. It goes silent, and then the credits are just like chirping sounds. And that was kind of how I felt at the end of this movie. Just,
Certainly wasn't applause.
yeah. But
Think about it. That lady's like scarred for life.
mhm.
That guy could be like, look what they did to me, and then they get blamed for everything.
Yeah, I was thinking this movie was going to end with, you remember how Train to Busan, spoiler for Train to Busan, when the little girl and that chick are going through the tunnel,
Don't.
and we were like, they
Yeah.
should have got shot. I feel like they should have just mowed her down as soon as she came out and they would have, wrapped up everything. But she like lives, which I'm assuming she's not gonna have a very good life after that. But doesn't seem like she's had a good life the couple weeks before this either. So, but yeah, that's Hunter x Hunter wrapped up
A nice little bow.
in a nice little bow.
Um, but yeah, like it's so weird. So I'm gonna get into like the deeper meaning of this.
All right,
movie.
go ahead.
So first off, they're arguing about moving to civilization, and the
Mhm.
guy says, if you go to the game wardens, you invite their life into ours, and then it causes nothing but problems.
Yeah.
And then he turns around, and that's what he does. Is he's trying to catch the murderer.
Uh huh.
So he's like touching their life, and then invites the trouble back to him. So it's kind of like, oh, look, that's what he got. So I think that was like the main thing for the movie, like the moral or whatever.
Uh huh.
And then the second one was they were trying to talk about how their way of life is coming to an end. They can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
This is the end of whatever. And then it literally was the end of all their lives, right? Because
Yeah.
everyone died.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to like signify the end of that era or whatever of like
Of
rugged
like,
outdoors.
yeah, living. Yeah.
And I was like, that's a reach, right? Like I don't know if that's what they were trying to do,
Yeah.
but I was like, they barely made their first point. The second point was something completely different. And then like the third one, I think is this weird beware what lurks in the dark, like wolves. You have to be a wolf to catch a wolf, but that guy wasn't a wolf enough to catch the other guy. Or it was something like don't trust.
Yeah, I kept trying to
strangers, or
make
I don't-
sense of the title where it was like Hunter x Hunter. So it's like, was that guy? He's just a hunter of hunters, but then he's not because he kills like innocent women or whatever. So then it's like, oh, is Devon the hunter of hunters? But then like he's not very good at it because,
Yeah.
which I still don't understand how that dude got anywhere close enough to take out Devon without a shot, without shooting him or whatever.
So this is my theory.
Okay.
So the leg wound was caused by a trap.
Oh yeah.
So dude stepped in Devon's trap, and then he ran up on him
Oh.
or whatever, and then the guy like just in the melee hit him with a rock.
Yeah.
Now this dude done seen that he's killed like 30 women, so
Yeah.
why not just shoot him from like
Yeah.
But I don't know. The problem with this movie is they talk about this wolf, and the wolf's there, and then
Mhm.
about 30 minutes in, you don't hear a
You
single
never
thing
hear about the wolf again.
I keep waiting for this wolf to pop up and just take someone out.
Yeah.
And all this other stuff, and it just never happened.
Yeah,
Now,
because during the trailer, I remember being like, "How are they going to turn this into like a horror movie with just this wolf?" And then it's like, "Oh, they're just going to do away with the wolf completely."
yeah, the wolf has nothing to do.
Yeah.
So we wasted the first 45 minutes talking about this wolf.
This wolf and
When you
how to
could've
hunt
just
a
had
wolf and stuff.
Yeah, chew on these leaves.
Yeah.
And it was like,
And
this
then
is
I
all for
guess
nothing.
they try to still make it sound like that dude's the wolf because Devon Sawa talks about, if a wolf is injured, he goes after the young or the weak and stuff. And so that dude's hurt. So but then he's always gone after the weak or the young because it's just been women or, whatever.
You just imply that women are weak? You sexist pig.
I'm sorry. To you.
It's like, but I stand by what I said.
No, but
I
what
don't
mean.
like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but you got to remember this movie. I think takes place in like early '90s.
Mhm.
So like maybe back then cops weren't as like gun trigger happy. So
Yeah.
but you're right. Like as soon as they saw that lady, they should have just fired and killed
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Like I would have. I was like, look at this bitch. And then I would have. Bop, bop, bop.
She got a face.
She was literally covered in blood,
Yeah.
holding a face.
Holding a face.
You just came from
I don't know
like,
how many
the
times I can
bloodiest
stress
crime.
this. She's holding a face.
with one eye closed.
One
Which is
yeah.
weird.
Yeah, I don't know how she managed to take off the entire of one eye, but then leave like the other eye's skin. I don't know.
It looked cool. I'll
Yeah,
give
it
it
looked
that.
cool, yeah, but you know,
You think that guy died?
you could probably live from that, but I don't know. I don't know what, because then like
It's
would
called being flayed, is what it is.
yeah,
But
like would they believe her if she's like, no, he killed my husband and my daughter and everything?
no, probably
Yeah,
not. Because
like
think about it. They get to that grizzly like
also they thought
silhouette
that she was losing her mind later when she kept talking about this wolf that was mean.
that was mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like at the crime scene with all the dead women,
Mhm.
the guy put those traps in. So now it looks like he's trapping people up there
Yeah.
the whole time. So they go look at the trapper's house,
Where
which
he's got
why they
all
didn't
this
do that?
trap shit.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah.
Like then they're gonna assume it's them, and then you're gonna get there, and you're gonna have this lady who's fine
Yeah.
with a skinned man in her fucking meat shed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this movie would have been a lot better if right when she was like hanging him up, right?
Uh-huh.
Because she ties him up and
Yeah.
to skin him alive. If the cops busted in then and then shot her,
Yeah.
and the
And
guy got
yeah,
away
and the
with
dude
it,
was like, "Oh, they you got here just in time. They were, doing whatever."
and then the wolf learned to live the wolf again.
Yeah, yeah. Which
So,
I don't know. I thought this movie was somehow going to be like Devon Sawa just descending into madness or something.
yeah, like fighting against the oncoming like
Yeah,
progression of life. Yeah, it
but
wasn't.
no, it wasn't at all. But yeah, I don't know. By the way, I tried looking up the budget for this movie and could not find it. So I was
I
like,
saw that it grossed $12,000
$12,000.
or something.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. It was definitely wasn't what I was expecting. Um, like I
Even they
said,
could have made this a man versus man and still been scary,
mm-hmm.
but none of this was scary.
No, yeah, I don't know. I don't know who decided. Like, I get they've done this in movies before, like Scream. Every fucking trailer was Scream back in the day was you know, what's her face, Drew Barrymore or whatever, and then
Yeah,
spoiler, Drew Barrymore gets killed in the first 15 minutes or whatever. And they do that. They target a movie about this person, and shocker, that person's dead. But yeah, it was just I came in expecting like this Devon Sawa crazy sort of thing. And the first 20 minutes seemed like it was going to go that way, where he was just hanging out with dead bodies and like was lying to his family and stuff. And then it turned into what it is. So. Oh. But anyway, you got anything? Oh, you never said your favorite part. Because I maybe assumed it was going to be when that guy was all skinned alive.
yeah, that had to be like when she lost her shit, like
Yeah.
when she completely broke after seeing her daughter, and she was like, "Hey, it's time to stop being whatever."
Uh-huh.
So that was probably my favorite part.
Yeah.
So
But anyway, I don't have any facts for this one either. Because it hasn't been out long enough for things to pop up.
I got a fact for you.
Okay.
The little girl
Uh-huh.
who you don't know what happens to
Yeah.
made her acting debut in The Curse of Chucky at
Yeah.
age 8.
I saw she was in Curse of Chucky and I was like, what?
So there you go.
She looked like this girl, and I cannot remember it, but there was some like Nickelodeon cartoon where they had this girl, and I kept thinking it was her, but then when I looked it up, it wasn't her. So I don't know. But also, I texted Maverick because it's supposed to be his week to pick the movie. So I was seeing if he'd pick the movie, and he said no. All right, so we don't know what's going to be the pick for next week.
I would say, and this is my first time saying this,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't tell people to watch this.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
It doesn't have a complete story. It's too meandering. It never gets to the point on fucking anything.
Yeah, like the
And
thing, if they want to do this movie where it turns out this guy they're helping out is the killer the whole time, it's like have more scenes with the killer where you can sort of piece things together. But he's asleep the whole movie. So like there's no like lead up to it. It's just like all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, he's the killer." It's like,
like
okay.
find half of one of your husband's cigarettes in his pocket or something.
Something, or have him be, wearing like a watch or something and be like, "Where'd you get that from?" And then like, "Oh, a long time
Oh,
ago, I
I
guess."
bought it in a pawn shop, and
Yeah,
then you
yeah.
like do a flashback, and it's like, my great granddaddy made this watch and gave it to me, and then you're
Yeah.
like, there's no way, anything. But
Something.
she literally saw her husband dead from like what could have been a trip and fall, and
Yeah.
automatically assumed he was a killer. And I
Yeah.
was like, what is going on?
So,
So
I don't know. But anyway. Alright. Well, thanks for listening to this one. Whatever Maverick picks, it'll be here. Maverick picked A Quiet Place from 2017, maybe? I didn't take the time to Google it, so there you go. That's what I'm going to guess. But next week, A Quiet Place. So there you go. Whatever that is. Well, that'll be next week's episode. What's today? Today's Friday. Monday, coming out. Overtime. Texas Chainsaw 2. Look forward to that. Yeah. That's about it. Alright, Tyler, you got anything to say to our listeners? We might have hit 10K viewers by now, by the way. Shout out
10K views, yeah.
10K views. Thanks, guys.
Wolves are usually more afraid of you than them,
That's true.
so don't worry about wolves.
Never been a recorded case in the United States of a wolf killing a person.
Really?
Yeah, that's a fact. Recorded.
I thought you.
I'm sure it's probably happened, but it just hasn't been like reported.
I was like, that better be true. You telling people to go wandering out in the woods and shit.
You can pet them. All right, we'll
But
see you.
don't fuck with bears.
Don't fuck
you
with
know.
bears, even though they look so cuddly, so cuddly.
They got the cute little ears,
Little ears. Oh man.
little tail. But anyways,
Yeah. All right. Monday.
we'll find a bear movie for the next week.
Yeah. Yeah. The Revenant coming.
Yeah.
I choked. Monday. Texas Chainsaw 2. Texas Chainsaw 2. All right.